Welcome to the first episode of the editing part of the Bootcamp series. I've been preparing for this for probably like 3 weeks and I think it's gonna be really fun. So yeah, let's get to editing. So during this part of the Bootcamp series, we're editing a video together. A video that I've created, and like I said, I've been preparing for this for like 3 weeks. The first video I thought about sort of went overboard and I sort of created a documentary instead. Then I thought of a new video or film and that just went bad. It just got bad. So I scratched that and then I thought about a third video, the one we're editing now, but I didn't have anyone that could help me film until this Saturday. So after a lot of hassle, it's finally done and we can start the editing process.
This is the incredible story of when I got my mail. Let's back up a bit. A while ago I was sitting at home awaiting a package. Then the package came, so I went out to get it. I had been waiting for this package forever, so I was super excited. But then, it was my super annoying neighbor. I had to avoid him at any cost. But how? There, you're all caught up now. Okay, fine, that's not what happened. I managed to escape the deadly conversation and could keep moving towards my target. But then, someone had thrown a banana peel on the ground. It seemed impossible to avoid. Thank God for my parkour training. Okay, fine, that's not what happened either. I had successfully avoided certain death again and managed to reach my mailbox. But then, turns out it wasn't mail. It was a goddamn bomb.
And during these tutorials, we will be working in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now, most editing softwares have the same features, just different names for them. So if you don't have Premiere Pro, you can just edit in your preferred software and use the same tricks and cuts and everything that we use in Premiere Pro. But that's enough talking, so let's just get into Premiere Pro and let's set up everything so it's ready for editing. So the first thing we need to do is start a new project. So just go up to the New Project button, click it, and we can name this Bootcamp editing video. Yeah. And you can choose your location wherever you want it. I'm just gonna choose my desktop. Yeah, for now. Okay, and then you go down here and click create. So then we get into our workspace, and your workspace might not look exactly like mine do, but that doesn't matter because I'm going to teach you how to make a custom one. And I think for the sake of this tutorial, it might be easier if you have the same workspace as I do. So I'm going to teach you how to set that up. So I prefer to have everything inside one workspace because I don't want to jump between different workspaces when I'm working. A lot of work. So first things first, this is the project panel. This is where we import all our footage, all our assets, everything that we need to build our video. Then we have our timeline, and this is where we build our video. And then we have the program monitor, and that's sort of where we can watch our video. So the first thing I'm gonna do is to go up to Window, Workspaces, go up to Window and then scroll down and you can see Effects. It's not checked in, and I want that in my workspace. So I just tap that. And then it comes up here, but I want it as a standalone unit. So I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna pull it out and move it to the side here. Then we can just make it a bit smaller. Then I want to make the project manager a bit smaller. So I'm just gonna drag that out like that and make the timeline bigger like that. Then we have the effect controls, and basically all the changes that we make to a single clip is usually handled in the effects control. So I'm going to add that too. So go up to Window, scroll down to Effect Controls and tap that. Then we can pull that out and place it above there, and place it above the project manager. So like that. And then there are a few other tabs here that I've never really used, so I'm just going to close those by right-clicking on the 3 lines there and choose Close Panel. Like that. So this is a pretty good starting point, but like I said in the beginning, I want everything inside the same workspace, so we're not really done yet. Go to Window and find Lumetri Color. This is where we do all the color correcting and the color grading and everything that has to do with color, basically. Now, if the tabs doesn't stack on top of each other like this in your workspace, you can just right-click, go to Panel Group Settings, and choose Stacked Panel Group. Then everything will be in tabs instead of their own little square. So, we're not done yet. We're gonna also add Essential Graphics. Now, if it doesn't end up in the tabs together with the others, it might have ended up in its own sort of workspace part. So if you don't want that, just add it to the tabs by pulling it into the center of that square where the others are, like that. And then you can close it, and I'm just gonna move it to the top, and then we're done. So now we can save this into a custom workspace so we can use it whenever we start Premiere Pro. And to do that, you just go to Window, Workspaces, Save as New Workspace, and name it whatever you want. Custom Workspace 1. Okay. And then if we go up again, we can see that our custom workspace is here. So, perfect. Then to be faster editors, we're going to learn a few keyboard shortcuts. And again, for the sake of this tutorial, I think it's easier if you use the same shortcuts as I do. So to create a custom shortcut, you go up to Premiere Pro and you choose Keyboard Shortcuts. And here we can start sort of making our own ones. So the first one is R, and I'm gonna get more into that later, but that basically renders our whole timeline and makes it easier to play back so it's not lagging. So it's called Render Entire Work Area. And to add it to a custom key, you just drag it and let it go, over in this case R. Then I've selected Ripple Delete for D. So we're gonna add Ripple Delete there, and you're gonna choose the edit one, and I'm just gonna drag it and let it go over D. Basically what that does is if you have 3 clips like this, it deletes the one in the middle and pushes the timeline together, so you don't have to do that manually. Then we have 2 shortcuts that I'm not sure if they're default or not, but if they are not, you're gonna add Ripple Trim to Q, Ripple Trim, Ripple Trim Previous Edit to Playhead and add that to Q. And then you can take the W and add that to W. It's gonna make a lot more sense later, but basically what it does is it cuts everything from your playhead to your next cut and sort of ripple deletes it, but automatically. And then instead of having to manually choose our razor blade all the time, we're just gonna add edit to our E key. Like that. So just drag that onto there. And what that does is it just creates a cut wherever your playhead is. Super effective. And the last one is not essential, but I use it all the time because I usually work with 4K footage on a 1080p timeline. And that is to set to frame size. That one I pull to the U key, and if your key is already occupied by something, you can go down and just delete whatever's there now and add yours instead. So just like this, take it away and we can see that the key became gray, and then we drag that up there and it's set again. So that's it for the keyboard shortcuts. If I forgot one, we can just add it later. So we're just gonna click OK, and we're gonna learn how to import some footage. So first thing we need to do before we can start editing is of course get some content, and in the description there's a link to a Google Drive where I've added all the content that we need to make this video, except for a few things. In the download folder you're gonna find a PDF called links, and in that there are links that you can download even more assets that we're gonna use in the video. A song, a few whoosh sound effects, and 2 fonts that we're gonna use in the video. And I literally can't give this to you because that would be illegal. So you don't have to download it, but it's gonna be pretty hard to follow along if you don't use the song. The song is from a place called Epidemic Sound, and you can just create a free account and download the song without a license, so you can use it just for this tutorial. But just remember that when you download a song with just a free account, you don't get the license, so you can't share this anywhere. Now, I don't know why you would want to share this video, but just in case you would want to, you can't. Then the background that we're using are from Envato Elements. Envato Elements gives you a 7-day free trial if you want to download it to follow the whole tutorial, but again, it's sort of like the last thing and it's not necessary. Alright, so now I'm guessing you've downloaded the content and all you need to do now is import it into Premiere Pro. And this can be done two ways. Either right-click in the project bin, click Import, and choose what you want to import. I prefer to just open the place where I have all the content and just select everything and drag it into Premiere Pro. Right, you can import the PDF. Okay, so now we have all our content in our place, and the first thing we're going to do is to get a bit organized. So we're going to go down here, click New Bin, and we're going to name this Footage. Enter. And then all the shots that aren't music or assets or basically everything that are footage, we're going to drag into this. There. And then we're going to create a new bin and call this audio. And we're going to pull in our sound effects and our music track. And then the rest, usually I create a bin called assets if I have a lot of them, but now I really don't, so I'm just going to leave it as is. And then we have the song and we have our cinematic whooshes, and I'm just going to pull that into our audio bin. Lastly, we need to install our fonts, and I've already done that, but I'm going to show you how to do it in case you don't know. It's super easy. You just go to downloads and click either the OTF or the TTF. Just double click that and choose install font. So now we're going to set up our timeline. So just double click the footage bin, pick the first one just for the sake of it, and drag it into our timeline. Now we can see that it's been added into our timeline, and we can also see up here in the program monitor that we can see our video. However, we want to make sure that we get the correct timeline. And just like we talked about in the frame rate episode, this is a cinematic video. So we're going to go up to sequence, which is basically video. And we're going to go to sequence settings, and then we're going to make sure that our frames per second is 23.976 or almost 24 FPS. And this is, again, the sort of cinematic standard. Okay. And the frame size is our resolution. And all of these shots are shot in 4K. And I think that 4K is too much for this video. So we're going to make it 1080 instead. So for the horizontal, we're going to type in 1920 and the vertical 1080. And then we're just going to click OK. OK. Okay, so now we've sort of set up our project to start editing, but I realize now that this video became a lot longer than I thought, so we're going to cut this short and continue in the next episode. And there we're going to focus on cutting and sort of building our timeline. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.